Hey there, Brett here. I'm going to be doing some tarot readings for you today. And these are going to be for the month of November 2022. And this is for the sign of Cancer. You beautiful water sign, emotional water sign. I think Cancers are amazing. And I really think about kind of emotional balance when I think of Cancer, like the duality of emotions. I think of the two arms of the crab, right? And how they're both important. Like there's the positive side of emotions and the negative sides of emotions, right? And how they work in concert together. I'm going to do a little pyramid reading like I have been doing for the monthlies. I did this for October as well. And basically we're going to see the energy at the beginning of the month and then how it progresses to the very peak of the pyramid, which is going to be your potential outcome. I am going to clarify all of the decks. The types of decks I'm using are going to be in the description of the video. Please hit like, please subscribe if you want updates. It really helps my channel grow and I appreciate that. There's also a donate link, both in the description of the video and in the main page of my YouTube channel if you would like to donate anything to my tarot cause. I absolutely love reading tarot. I'm really enjoying this a lot, and I would love to do this full time. So any way that I can make that possible is great. So I appreciate your support if you're willing. So like I said, this is going to be for Cancer for the month of November 2022. All right, one more shuffle here. I'm going to need 4 cards for the bottom row. Universe, please give me 4 cards, please, for the bottom row. 4 cards. Okay. So for the bottom row for you, we start out with the World. This is completion. This is passing through a portal of moving into the next phase of our life, of learning a lesson and being able to execute that lesson in our lives. And this is a beautiful, beautiful card to start, Cancer. So very excited for you. Next we have the Knight of Cups, also a very lovely card. The 6 of Cups. And at the end here we have the 5 of Pentacles. So the only real challenging card in this first row is the 5 of Pentacles. And when I say challenge, I mean, usually when I say challenge, I'm referring to some sort of negative energy that's coming. Positive energy is positive, negative energy is negative, right? Like simple things here. But 5 of Pentacles, you can see that this woman is kind of distraught. 5s are about kind of like an in-between point for you, right? It's about either going back to the beginning of the cycle or moving on and moving on to the 6 of Pentacles, which is more about stability. This is the moment before you find that stability, right? Where you feel unable to ask for help. You're hindered, right? You're thinking negatively about your material world, about your possessions, about something that you're manifesting that's just not working out the way you wanted to, right? And the thing is like, you see the key next to the door? Like, you're not seeing the solution even though it's there for you. And so that can be challenging energy, right? Now, along with this, you do have the World in the same row, and you also have 2 Cups cards. You have the Knight of Cups, and you have the 6 of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups, what I think about, and what I'm kind of getting here is, this can be a new love. It can be a person. It can represent something inside of you that you really love, that you're trying to move forward with. Cups cards usually represent, Knight cards represent forward movement. All the Knights move at different speeds. The Cups probably the second to the slowest, the Knight of Pentacles being the slowest. The Knight of Cups can represent a person coming in for you, someone that's going to be providing a lot of loving support, even a lover. Or it can just represent part of yourself that you're trying to embrace. If you're trying to move a project forward and you're trying to, take that like fiery energy, because all of the knights represent fire. This is the knight of water, right? And so you're going to have to find some sort of emotional way to move this project forward or move this relationship forward. I'm getting project more than a relationship right now, or like your career, but we'll clarify a little bit more. The Six of Cups is about connecting to your child self or children, and seeing your child self either within yourself or through other people's eyes, through a child's eyes, for instance. Children tend to see the innocent parts of things, the uncomfortable things that we don't want to see about ourselves. Kids will point that out right away, right? But I think it's about finding growth within ourselves. And I'm getting that you're wanting some growth here. You know, you have the world, you want to move forward on something, either a love when it comes to your career, or a love like a person you love, or a situation that you love. And it's you're having a little bit of frustration and pain, and you're not necessarily, you want something, but you're feeling a little dampered by it. You're feeling like, can I do this? This is frustrating. And that can be really tough. So Cancer, you might want to keep in mind that although you want the world, you're gonna have to work on yourself a little bit here. And that's great. We're all working on ourselves, right? I just had 2 cards kind of slip out. So I'm gonna take those. I need 3 more cards for this row here. So you can see both of these cards in this next row have similar colors. I'm going to pick one more, but you can see the Hermit's about introspection, and you might need to take some time within this month to step back and to analyze and look at things that have happened in your life so that you can learn some lessons here. You know, the card after the Hermit is the Wheel of Fortune, right? The Wheel of Destiny. And I think sometimes in order for destiny to take over, for us to like be in the flow, right? We have to really see ourselves and see where we're headed. And I think the Hermit has a very clear idea where they're going. They can see where they're going, right? And they're leading with passion and love. And that's really important. Next to the Hermit, you have the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords can be hard energy because kind of like the Five of Pentacles, it's about protecting an idea that you have, or protecting you're wanting to move quickly here, and you're wanting to move kind of stealth. It's about stealth, and it's about can be about hiding things. I'm looking back at the cards here because, you know, there could be something that you're not revealing, I'm getting. Let's see what the last card in this row is, because I'm a little, okay. So yeah, the Nine of Wands. So this is the only Wands card so far. You have 2 cups and a sword and a pentacle. And this Knight of Wands is about boundaries, self-imposed boundaries. You know, it's about working really hard to get where you are, and having all these skills, and also along with that is you've put up a wall. And I think it's a wall that's protecting you, but what is it actually protecting you from? And that can be difficult energy to work with, because you also have the Seven of Swords. And so if you're protecting yourself, you might want to do it, you know, because I'm getting that like you're protecting yourself, but you don't know why. And I think it might take some Hermit energy, some introspection to figure that out. because the light of the moon here is all that you have with the Seven of Swords. And I get a lot of like, I don't know, like, I'm getting kind of like, you need to find some clarity here. You need to see where you're going, because I don't think you can see it. You're trying to move, you're trying to, you really feel like you have your head wrapped around where you want to go. Like, I think there's like, you know where you're going, you feel like this is going to make you happy, right? And like, you have a lot of love in here. You have some appreciation for your child self and where you're going, but there's some discouragement with that. And you need some introspection. You need to stop worrying. Let's see what the next... this isn't clear to me what's going on, honestly. Sorry, I'm dropping cards here. I'm not really clear here. I need to fill the pyramid up a little bit. Let's see what else we can get. You know, I am getting, because the world is Saturn energy, and Saturn's about boundaries, right? And the Nine of Wands is also, can be about putting up barriers and boundaries for yourself that are unnecessary. Let's see what else is here. So Seven of Cups, so more Seven energy. Seven of Cups is about having to make a decision. You have Temperance here as well. Temperance is the card that comes before the Devil. So before we can really tackle kind of our shadow, we need to find the balance within ourselves, see the light and the dark parts of ourselves, right? So you can see there's the dark and there's the light, and it's about blending those things together so that we see clearly. I'm getting a lot of like, we're not seeing clearly here, Cancer. Now you have Strength. Now this is Leo's card. It's about taming our inner lion, but it's also about like having the strength to move forward in life, having the strength to tackle the things in our lives that we need to, because it's looking like you need to look at some of your dark parts, some of your shadowy parts. And the Devil has come in for most signs. I think in the last 3 readings, the Devil came up every single time. So that's okay. You know, we're in Scorpio season. Scorpio's card is death, right? So it's about transformation. And we can't transform really until we see our dark parts. It's very difficult to transform when we can't see what we're looking at. So I want to get some clarifiers here. What is the World Knight of Cups Hermit quadrant towards the bottom left of the pyramid all about? The Ten of Swords. Yeah, so parts of you need to die. You need to have the strength to let parts of you die. Like in the traditional card, all of these swords are in through the guy's back. Here they're floating above. But you can see how there's a lot of energy. Look at all that yellow and orange and stuff that's surrounding the swords. And all these swords kind of represent things that no longer serve you anymore. And the only way to get over this is to kind of like just release them. And it takes a lot of strength to do that, because this Ten of Swords is related to the Hermit, the Knight of Cups, and the World. So it's like you have a lot of big expectations for yourself here. You know that you need to be introspective. You know, there's definitely a lot of like movement energy, but in order to move, parts of you need to die. And in order for that to happen, you have to be introspective, right? So what's going on with the Knight of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Seven of Swords? The Hierophant. So this is Taurus's card, and you know, this is about structure. This is also a 5. So it's about building a knowledge base. That's something like when I think of the 5 of Wands, or the 5, I think of the 5, the Hierophant. I think of I think of tarot. Tarot is a structure. I think of religion or any sort of dogma, right? It's about having some sort of structure in your life or spiritual practice that helps you see yourself clearly. And so this is coming like right in the middle towards the bottom of the pyramid. And it's above the Knight of Cups and the Six of Cups. So there's something about your emotional self that needs some structure. So what do you have next to the Hierophant? The High Priestess. The High Priestess is about your unconscious mind. It's about connecting to that part of yourself, and it's about your intuition. And it's in this Five of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Nine of Wands area here, and it's definitely, there's a certain part of you that needs to connect with your unconscious thoughts, because it's your unconscious that's always trying to bring things forward in your dreams. And whenever you're in that moment where you're meditating and you're at peace, your unconscious or your intuition is really gonna be at its most powerful. So there's something about, in order to get past this Five of Pentacles energy, you're gonna really need to submerge yourself, because this is also tied to the Nine of Wands. So you need to submerge yourself in your internal like desires need to be expressed, right? I don't know why that's coming up, because I don't think of desire when I think of the High Priestess, but there's something about what you desire and moving that forward, because what you desire is going to be coming, it has to come from you, and it has to come from an authentic place, but you might not be fully aware of what that is yet, because there's just some very confusing energy here as you move up. So I want to get a couple more cards. So the three cards that I have are Temperance, Judgment, and the Empress. So you have a lot of major cards here, a lot of major arcana, especially in the clarifiers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 of the 6 here are majors in the clarifiers. And, you know, the Judgment card is about judging ourselves, but it's about pure judgment. It's about seeing that like your mother and your father were two separate people and they created you, and you were also separate, but of these two people, right? And it's about being able to see yourself clearly, see like all of your ancestors and what they brought to the table and how they helped make you and make who you are, make who you are. Sorry about that. But it's next to the Temperance. So I'm feeling like, I'm getting that you really need to find your inner, I'm getting like inner magic, like your inner drives. You need to connect to your inner drives. And the Empress is at the very top here. So it's possible that you're going to need to find a lot of compassion for yourself. The Empress is touching Temperance. It's touching the Seven of Cups and Strength. So, you know, there's a decision that you're trying to come from a balanced place to make this decision. And it's like, it's like you're trying to figure out where this is going to take you. And the Empress is like all these feminine forces inside of you that are trying to like come out and be expressed. And I think that sometimes you have to embrace your feminine side if you're a man or if you're a woman or whatever you classify yourself as. There's the feminine energy that's inside of us, that lives inside of all of us. It has an important role to play. And it's about compassion and love and abundance and never-ending abundance. And it looks like, Cancer, that you really want to, you're really trying to make something happen here. There's definitely a flow here of like there's something that you really desire. And it's going to require some introspection. It's going to require taking down those walls that you've built for yourself, finding some balance within the different parts of yourself, the masculine, the feminine, the light and the dark, right? Finding that place where you're not judging yourself, where you feel pure at heart, right? Embracing a lot of the more feminine parts of yourself, because if you're a Cancer and you rely more on your masculine traits, like the very logical, reasoned, empirical side of yourself, then you're missing out on the nurturing, compassion part of yourself, right? And the Empress is attached to the Strength card here, so we also have, the Strength has an infinity sign on it, right? We have to find ways to be strong and to push ourselves forward in that light of strength. Because if we're coming from a place of weakness, we're never going to be able to see ourselves and move forward in a direction that's true to ourselves. Because I'm definitely, like I said, there's a lot of directional movement here, but it's definitely tied up with some energy, some a little bit of negative self-talk, but I'm really getting more artificial boundaries. It's about artificial boundaries. I just want to get a clarification card here for the very top with the Empress and Strength. Yeah, you have the Knight of Wands. So this Knight, you can see this is after tarot, and I really get a lot of kind of Sagittarian. Sagittarians know exactly where they're going, right? They have their arrow, right? And they have their bow, and they're shooting it in a certain direction. And the Knight of Wands knows exactly where he's going. And I think some big advice that I think Spirit's trying to give you is, if you want to move forward, you have to take down the barriers. You have to take down the barriers. Because there's a lot of decisions here that you need to make. It's probably not just one. And it's going to be very hard for you to get to this if you're stuck with mental impediments. Okay, I do want to pick one more card. I feel like I've been picking animal spirit cards, as I usually do. This is the Wild Unknown deck. I need to shuffle these a couple times. I'm just kind of wondering, Cancer, what's this energy that you have with you for this month? What's something that you can embrace that's going to allow you to take down these boundaries within yourself, these mental boundaries? The Bear. This is a cute card. This is the first card in this deck. It's the Earth, part of the Earth elements here, one of the Earth spirit animals. And the Bear represents waking up from a spiritual slumber. It's about, how I think of hibernation with bears, and I think about what that means for them, and they're resting. They're resting so that they can save their energy for the spring. Because if they stay awake all winter, they're going to burn through all their calories, and they're risking death. So let's not do that, Cancer. Let's wake ourselves up, because it sounds like you may have been spiritually asleep for a while. And I think once you wake up, you're going to start releasing the boundaries that you've put up, the barriers you put up. And you're going to be able to more clearly see the direction you're going in. Because there's a lot of love here, but there's some frustration, and that can be difficult. But I think embracing this, slowing down and embracing your spiritual side. Not everyone does that. It can be a challenge. But I think as we age, spirituality can become more important to people. And I think for you, Cancer, since you're driven by your emotions and you're driven by the duality of your emotions, understanding those is crucial, because we all think there's two sides to everything, right? And sometimes there's more sides to that, but they all exist in a spectrum. And I think when we're able to integrate those things together, those two different halves, we're able to see the whole. So take some time, Cancer, be introspective, hibernate a little bit. But once you wake up, you're going to be able to see very clearly. And I do feel that for you. This is a month of change. November is a month of change. And you can embrace that, Cancer. You can. All right. That's what I have for you. I hope you're doing well. And I hope you have a really great November. Bye, Cancer.